The Dalish prisoners escaped safely?
We got them away free and clear.
Good.
I do not know how you have found your dealings with the Dalish.
Whatever my frustrations with them, it was a privilege to be able to help our people again. Thank you for allowing me to help. Chance to infuriate Elgar'nan was a reminder of simpler times.
You said you found the Dalish frustrating. Why is that?
It is unfair to them. I lived for thousands of years, and after I imprisoned the Evanuris, I slept for thousands more. I awoke in a world that had forgotten the ancient times almost entirely. And those who tried to remember Elven history, like the Dalish, had gotten so much wrong.
I suspect them calling Elgar'nan and Gillinan and all the rest gods didn't go over well with you.
Indeed. To see that the history the Dalish worked so hard to preserve was the propaganda of tyrants was vexing. I tried to explain the truth to one clan. When I convinced them that I was truly Fen'Harel, they attacked me. After that, I hid my explanations behind the facade of having witnessed events in the Fade.
And every mage knows that what we see in the Fade might not be literally true.
Yes. The Dalish had no reason to believe me. I could only watch as they continued to worship Elgar'nan, though we may have seen the last of that tradition, at least.
You and Elgar'nan were really tearing into one another back there.
I needed to goad him to anger in order to distract him.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, while all of the Evanuris were monsters in their own ways, Elgar'nan was the worst. Or perhaps it is more honest to say that his were the faults I've found most objectionable. You have met him now, heard his voice hammering at the doors of your mind, and you have met me. Can you see how he and I might frustrate one another?
The two of you are too much alike. Both of you want to be in charge.
I have no desire to be in charge.
No. You just want to be able to correct anyone who's not doing everything the way you'd have done it.
I see you have been observing me as well during these conversations.
All right. I can see how you and Elgar'nan would hate each other.
He has always been what I most feared becoming. Callous and uncaring, his arrogance unchecked. To have that much power and no one to remind him that he could be wrong.
Well, he had you.
And I suppose I had you.
We would have had a hard time getting out of there without your help.
I did not spend this long preparing you only to lose you to Elgar'nan's machinations. No, I am sorry. That was poorly said. You have earned better from me.
Okay.
When we first met, I saw you only as a foolishly confident child who disrupted my plans. You were an irritant. I gave you information to oppose Elgar'nan out of necessity, but I expected you to be nothing more than a tool. Seeing you with your team, I was wrong.
I appreciate you saying that. Couldn't have been easy.
The only thing worse than being wrong is realizing it, like being afraid to change. Elgar'nan's pride is no greater than mine, but he denies any failure on his part, and I at least try to acknowledge my mistakes. Your team trusts you, and you listen to them. It is impressive and enviable. It took me centuries to build such a bond during my rebellion, and when I served the Inquisition, I try to avoid entanglements.
Except for Inquisitor Llewellyn.
I said that I resolved to do so.
Not that I succeeded. She is a good woman. Growing close to her was selfish of me.
Do you regret it?
I live with countless regrets. Some of them I have grown to cherish more than my victories.
Thank you for sharing that. So, what comes next? What are the gods going to do?
Elgar'nan and Gillenane are preparing the dagger they will use for their ritual to pierce the veil. Elgar'nan's power is tied to light and darkness. He will need to perform a ritual during the next eclipse.
That gives us some time to prepare.
It is likely to be your last chance to do so. You must be ready for whatever comes, for this world and for the team that trusts you. I know that you will do everything in your power not to fail them.
So now Elgar'nan's recovered his own archdemon, and the gods only need an eclipse to complete their dagger.
We saved the Dalish, though. That's important.
But now Elgar'nan's immortal, so long as his archdemon lives.
And we all know how hard those things are to kill.
We killed Razikale, didn't we?
After losing hundreds of wardens, and it took a centuries-old trap to do it. We don't have either of those. Not anymore.
Just when you think the tide's in your favor, it turns right back.
Okay. We always knew this was gonna be hard, right? And yeah, maybe it's a little harder now. More than a little. But either we stop this, or all of Thedas falls. So we see it through. All the way. Because no one else is going to.
Nice speech, Rook. But it's hard to complete a contract if you don't know where the target is.
We found the gods before.
Not without help, we didn't.
So we get help again. We've got allies everywhere now.
What about the Venatori that were at the crater? They might know where the gods are hiding.
Dorian said they were up to something, but it seemed more about returning to the gods' good graces. They lost Elgar'nan's sacrifice. He'll be displeased.
The crows may have something. The Antam are moving large quantities of supplies out of the city. Weapons, armor, gatlock. And several storehouses worth of food, what little we had left. It's enough to feed the Antam Navy for 3 months. Or all of Treviso for 6 weeks.
Given the timing, it seems unlikely to be a coincidence.
Wherever those supplies are headed, that's likely where we'll find the gods. Any more details from the crows, Lucanus?
They said the Antam have long work ahead. We have time. Also, Viago would like a meeting. At your earliest convenience. From him, that means important, but not yet urgent.
Did Viago tell you how much time we have?
Days to weeks. Nothing more precise.
Well, that's our best lead so far. Track those supplies, and we should find the gods. That said, the Venatori aren't up to anything good in Minrathous.
Not to complicate things, but the Inquisitor also wants to meet Rook.
Right. With everything she's been doing in the south, we owe her an update.
I'll let her know.
Despite the odds, we've survived. We've made a habit of it. Take some time. Rest. Be ready to go. Next time the gods appear, let's make sure it's the last.